Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and today I am going to be reviewing Big City Greens Season 3 Episode 11B. And what's this half called? Right, this half is called Junk Mountain, and I don't have a clip for this, and I know I posted the first half of the first half of episode 11. What was it? What was it, yesterday? Yeah. I think I posted Countryside yesterday, so I'm gonna be posting Junk Mountain today. So that way, tomorrow Saturday, I can actually do episode 12, and then Sunday I can finally do my full review of Thor: Love and Thunder. I can finally, get that done. I really want to get that done. So, yeah. All right. Is there anything else I wanted to talk about before I begin? Hold on a second. I'm just gonna get some water first. Okay. Yeah, because just want my throat to be in good condition before I begin this. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's better. Okay. So we begin this episode with where we begin? All right. No Nancy this episode. I just wanted to start with because we actually have the Kludge going to this what would you call it? I don't want to say dumpster. No, it's not. It's not a dumpster. You know what I would call it? I would call it kind of like an auto lot. It has a bunch of junk everywhere. That's where to say this really tall mountain that's called Junk Mountain. And basically, we have a Kludge going to it, and it's we have Bill, Tilly, Cricket, and Remy. No, Nancy. It's fine. She doesn't have to be in this episode. That's fine. She just probably just stayed at the country, just taking care of the animals, stuff like that. And we have two plots. We have two different plots. We have the A plot, which is with Cricket, Remy, and Cricket's old friend Hector, and we have the B plot with Tilly, and both are just great. And so basically, we have Cricket talking to Remy about like, oh yeah, my old pal Hector, and his parents own this whole auto lot. He says, oh really? He says, oh that must be pretty fun. He said, yeah, and then Bill's like, oh yeah, I forgot that your old pal Hector, Cricket, you used to be Thick as Thieves, and like, oh, didn't you play that cute little game? What was it called? Trash Hill? No, it's called Junk Mountain, Dad. There's nothing cute about it. And then Bill's like, oh, sorry. And it's like, okay, so you kids, Tilly, you go have fun and play. I'm gonna go buy some parts from Hector's parents since they own the place. I'm gonna buy some parts and maybe a few more for like the Kludge. Basically, the door starts falling off. And then Remy's like, oh, hey, Tilly, are you going to play with us? And then Tilly's like, oh, Junk Mountain, I remember that. He's like, oh, did she have, like, a bad experience or something? And she says, Remy's like, are you going to play with us? And she's like, no, apparently, I shall not, because the last time I played Junk Mountain, it unleashed a thirst for control that I could not contain. Tilly's just absolutely the best. And I was like, okay, what's going to be Tilly's B plot? Because I'm kind of thinking she's going to stay with Bill or she can do her own thing. She does her own thing. In the end of the episode, she does meet back with Bill, her dad. But So I'm gonna go buy a car. I'm with Cricket and Remy's like, what? And Cricket's like, you're not old enough to drive. You don't know how to drive. And she's like, Tilly makes such a good point here. Where I'm like, huh. So I haven't really thought about it, or maybe it did. It was just a long time ago. Like maybe season 2A, maybe I don't know. But Tilly's like, oh yeah, but I will learn how to drive someday. And I'm not sure if the clutch will be around that someday. So Tilly was kind of thinking, oh, when I'll be old enough to drive, maybe I'll take the clutch. Maybe my dad will let me borrow it, or maybe he'll pass it down to me, or something like that. And but Tilly was kind of thinking about it, like, oh, maybe it won't be around because the clutch keeps on. Even Bill's like, what? And the clutch is falling apart. Oh my goodness, poor clutch. It's a part of the family. If you watched an early season 2 episode, like, you know what I'm talking about. I think it was episode 1, right? Episode 1B maybe of season 2. Anyway, so it's like I'm gonna go look for a car, and then like her Crick's like, okay, say you sister, and then she's like, she said something in Italian. What was it? Ra, 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 Ravadenci. Yeah, that's what she said. Ravadenci, and then she's like, and she just left. Okay, sure, Tilly. um, so and then basically, like and then Remy's basically like, oh, oh, and this is where I was kind of, I'm glad they really glossed over this, because this was like, okay, we're not gonna do like a trope type of thing, because where Remy's kind of thinking about Hector, and he's like, oh, like your old friend, like, are you gonna be excited to see him? And then Cricket can kind of tell that Remy was kind of being a little off, and the Cricket saying, hey Remy, there's no competition. Hector and I haven't seen each other in a long time, and you show me around Big City. I mean, he didn't show him everything about Big City. There was other people who did that with him, like Gloria, in some cases, like a Nancy, his mom, and also Grandma, showed him around. Oh, Gabriella's another one. But anyway, like you show me around Big City, Remy. Like you always been there for me. You were my first friend. And he was Remy was actually since episode 1 of season 1, episode 1A of season 1. Like that's how long Remy has been with this family. Like seriously. And so like Remy, there's nothing, you don't have to worry about anything. There's no competition. And then so in the back, I wasn't like super worried, but in the back of my mind, I was like, okay, it's gonna be something that happens with Hector with Remy, or Remy's gonna grow to be kind of jealous or anything, which wouldn't be like the most terrible thing, but it's kind of like a trope, but kind of don't want to see, especially with this kind of family, especially with Remy, because I kind of, me personally, I just don't want to see that. But luckily, spoilers, we don't see that, so I'm just really glad. So Remy's like, whew, okay, I don't have to worry about it. So I'm glad Cricket could be there for his friend, saying, hey, Hector and I do have this connection because we've been friends like ever since like we met each other in the country, but you and I have been friends for a long time too. And I'm glad Cricket reassured his friend. I love that. And then we see Hector. He's like, "Oh, hey, Cricket," and his voice is cracking. He's like, "What's up?" His voice is cracking, and then Cricket's like, "Tall, very tall." Oh, and basically, Bill is like, "Oh, Hector." He's, "Oh, hey, Mr. Green," and like his voice is crying, "Hey, Mr. Green," and he's like, "Oh, hey, Hector." Oh, he, oh, Bill didn't do this in any intention, but he's like, "Oh, Cricket, that little boy that used to be best friends, he turned to like almost a young adult. He's like a teenager." And like, oh, he's long gone by now. He's moved on. And then Cricket's like, "No, Dad, he's the same like always." Sorry, I need to take a sip of water. Anyway, so Cricket's like no, Dad, like it's totally fine. And then Remy's actually kind of under pulled by Cricket, and Remy's like, like he's like Cricket, like, yeah, Remy, like, you didn't say that we were gonna be hanging out with a teen all day, and this actually comes to not a shock, but like a realization of, well, not realization. It kind of comes back to the point of that Gloria was another big sister to Cricket, but the point we have to remember is that Gloria is still in her 20s. When we first meet Gloria, she was like in her early 20s, and now season 3, I think she's around her like what, like mid to late 20s. She's not. I don't think she's 30. I don't think she's 30. So we kind of remembered, like, even though Gloria is young, she's definitely younger than Alice, obviously, and Bill and Nancy, but she was older than Cricket, Tilly, and Remy also. But she was in her 20s. Hector, he's like, what would you say, 15? I don't think he ever says specifically, because he has like a little tiny mustache. He even made a point to it where Remy's like, Cricket, I don't know what to do. He has a mustache. And then Cricket's like, barely. He said, no, I totally do. And he has like a little comb, like a, what do you call it? Kind of like a pocket knife, but it's like a comb. And he's like, and basically Bill's like, oh, you guys will have fun. And I don't know what Bill was thinking here. He's like, bye, kid. And then he's like, Hector. And he kind of shakes his hand. I'm like, was that kind of necessary? I guess he wanted to show Hector respect, and he hasn't seen him in a long time, so I guess it kind of makes sense. But the way he shook Hector's hand, it kind of feels like how you would greet like a young adult, like Gloria, basically, when you would first meet her, like someone in their young to mid, maybe late 20s, you would shake their hand. But a teenager, I guess it got, I mean, I've done it a couple times, but like I'm not sure if it's really common. But the way he was treating Cricket and Remy, he was kind of treating them if they were like 5 to 7 years old. They're like 10 or 11. Like Remy's recently 10, and Cricket, I'm pretty sure he's 11. I'm pretty sure they never explicitly say like when his birthday is or anything. Just like he was 10 at the beginning of the show, and we passed like New Year's like twice. But I don't think he's 12. I don't think he's 12. I think he's 11. And like Tilly's 12. But so I don't know what Bill was like doing that for, but I don't know. I guess he just wanted to mess with them. Okay, sure. And we basically have Bill's like, oh, like, hey, like everything's gonna be the same. There's even a part where Cricket is like looking forward, but he's only staring at Hector's legs. So he is like right, and he's kind of looking at Hector. And then I like how Hector is kind of going to Cricket's level, that they kind of give him a little hug, and it's like, yeah, nothing's changed. And he's like, oh, let's go to Junk Mountain. No, let's go to our secret hideout and get our gear, and then go to Junk Mountain. And then Cricket and Remy's like, yeah. And then Hector's like, yeah. He's like a more soothing teenager. He's not a rambunctious boy. And Remy's like, I like your shirt. And then I like how Hector, like, like doesn't get mad at Remy or anything. He's just like, oh, thanks, though, man. And like he's like, whew. Okay, because that was the point where Remy was talking to Cricket, like, do I agree? Like, do I compliment on his shirt, or is this like shirt supposed to be ironic or anything? Because Remy doesn't understand what ironic means, even though he's really smart. But he was panicking at that moment. And so we basically have our new trio kind of going off to their secret base. We get back to Tilly, and she finds her first car, and it's kind of like a speed car, but it's all banged up. And she kind of takes off for a drive, but imaginary drive. And I kind of like this, how she's like, oh, like, I have a needs for speed. It's like there's a speed limit. I forgot what it was. It was like 40. Was it 45? I think it might have been 45. It was like 45 speed limit. I'm gonna pass it. Be like, I'm acting like the bad girl. And she goes to 46. Okay. And she does that, and there's like a bunch of police officers and the cars chasing after her, and until it gets out of her imagination, and she's like, yeah, I'm not ready for the cops yet. I'm not ready for that. And we get back to Cricket, Remy, and Hector to go to the secret base, and it's like, And he's like, oh, Remy, he's talking about different adventures that we used to have, and this is where we were plotting the Junk Mountain to face off a dragon, and what was the adventure of facing off a Cyclops? I could be making that up. I'm just trying to remember. I haven't rewatched the episode it was like 5 days ago, so I'm just going off of that memory. Which is still pretty good. I just kind of things are like a little bit fuzzy. I'm pretty sure I remember the dragon part, but the Cyclops, hit or miss. Okay. Let's see. What is next? Right. So Cricket's talking to Remy about their adventures. The Hector's like, "Do you remember that?" He's like, "Oh yeah." And he's kind of, oh, Hector's kind of acting a little weird. A little weird. They go into the trailer, basically. It's Hector's trailer, and then Cricket's like, "What happened?" And then Hector's, "Oh yeah, Cricket, you haven't been here in a long time," and he's like, "I read Hector going for like a more chill vibe because he's a chill teenager," and Remy's like, "Oh yeah, I'm definitely getting that feeling," and he's like, "Oh, like Hector, like, do you have our old Junk Mountain gear? Our old Junk Mountain gear? Do you still have it?" Like, "Oh, I think I probably threw it out." Like, how could you throw it out? He's like, "I don't know. You have been here for a long time, and things a lot changed." Cricket's trying to ignore, but also trying to understand. So I totally understand how he's kind of going back and forth because again, he grew a lot in big city, but he's still 11-year-old kid. So he's kind of having trouble like to process this. So I totally understand where he's coming from. He's kind of like, what? But even Hector's kind of like, well, I probably didn't throw it out. It's probably like around here somewhere. But so there's definitely conflict of interest kind of going around. And Hector's like, oh hey, I know what can like cheer you guys up. Like, do you want me to play some tunes for you? It's like, sure. And he plays a song and do I want to say he's kind of stereotypical teen? I mean, I can totally understand in the comments he's saying that I don't like the song. I think it's too stereotypical because basically it's like a hard like rock song. He's like, and Hector's on the floor. Like, you don't understand. He's like, adults and kids don't understand teenager hormones and feelings unless you're another teenager, and you can only understand if you do understand or something like that. But there is when I was in my early to mid teens and along with teens nowadays, I do feel like they do kind of represent that. Not their full character, but there are parts where they're kind of saying what they would say, you don't understand. But not to the full extent, like where they're kind of rocking out to it, but it's kind of here and there. So I don't want to say that it's completely off the face of the earth for anything like that. So I can understand in the comments say I personally don't like the song. Okay, and in the comments, well, you all, I would say, yeah, I don't think I really had a comment that was like anything like disrespectful. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think I had a commenter that was disrespectful, and I don't usually get a lot of comments, but the ones that you get, you guys are usually respectful. But I would usually, I'm not sure if I've ever said this before. Just make sure if you have criticism, sorry. If you have constructive criticism, you can put it in the comments. Like if you have criticism for like the episode, because most of the Big City Greens episode are not perfect episode, and I do have complaints for it. And I always try to put like a reason in the episode. I'm not really sure why I mentioned this. I'm just like, if you want to put in the comments like about the song that you just don't like about it and it's constructive, then yeah, sure, go ahead. But don't just put like, it stinks. Okay, do you want to elaborate? But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Like if you are gonna put comments, but anyway, sorry about that. Okay. Okay. Let's see what's next. Right. So he's playing the song. He's like, you don't understand. And I like how Cricket and Remy are holding each other, saying, Remy's like, Cricket, what is this music? And then Cricket said, I don't know, Remy. I don't know. Because we know they kind of did karaoke a couple times, and we know Cricket likes country. He likes rap, and I would say pop, maybe. But not like heavy metal or anything. I'm not sure if Cricket's like too like into that, especially like the teenage angst type of heavy metal. So like Oh, and Cricket's like a little bit versed in classical music thanks to Remy. I'm pretty sure off screen, like Remy entertained Cricket with his violin music. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Excuse me. Okay, so what was the point? Right, so he's playing the music and stuff, and then like kind of like, oh my goodness, we get back to Tilly, with the B plot, and she's like, oh, like thanks to the like that car with the whole police incident, even though it was all in her head, that wasn't a car for me. It's like, oh, how about this, a hearse? And I'm like, oh boy, what's gonna happen? And she goes into the hearse, right, and she's like imagining, right, and she's like, hey, with a hearse, there's dead people. With dead people, there are skeletons. How about a skeleton parade? So we get the skeleton parade with Tilly in like a tuxedo with a top hat, and she looked pretty sassy. Like simple design, but I thought she looked pretty sassy. I liked it. And she's like, oh, all aboard the skeleton parade, and then we. We obviously it's a hearse, so obviously someone died, and so we have a person kind of opening the casket, and I forgot what this person looked like, but it's obviously undead, and attacks Tilly, and she's like, that was her face, like, oh my goodness, the girl is traumatized, and she even jumped out of the car of the hearse, and she's like, yeah, I'm not ready for that parade yet. I'm not ready for that. And then we go back to the A plot where Hector stops the music, and Cricket's like, oh Hector, I knew you were holding out on this, and it's like, what do you mean? Oh, I found our like our gear. And then Hector's like, oh, like, I was for sure that I threw that out, but oh, it's good that you found it. And Cricket's kind of like have like, oh, like he's kind of glad that Hector said like, oh, I'm glad you found it, but there's also part of it's kind of because Hector says, when Hector said, I for sure thought that I threw it out. So like he kind of not made a mission to throw it out, but kind of like he was pretty sure that he did, and that kind of hits Crick in the gut. Like, why did you want to throw it out? But it's a lot of emotions going around, and basically we have Remy in this like time stone, and the time stone with the MCU. So it's like a red crystal that can like freeze time, like the time crystal, I guess. I guess you could say, and we have Remy. I'm sorry. No, that was Remy. Cricket. We got Cricket the Crusher, and he has a sword, and we have Hector the what was his name? Heathen, and he's like, oh, come on, Hector, play with us, and he's like, no, okay. And it's pretty fun. And Remy's trying to play, but he's kind of messing up. And Cricket's like, oh, Lily, oh, prepare yourself, Hector the Heathen's like, oh, Cricket the Crusher, you're about to. And then his girlfriend, what was her name? Crystal? What was it, Crystal? I could be wrong. I'm sorry. So we got Crystal, and what Crick and Hector was kind of doing like kind of like a, he was kind of elevating his voice a little bit, kind of, because Crick and Remy have loud voices, and when we first meet Hector, he kind of has like a kind of like a chill, soft teenage voice, and when he's playing with Crick and Remy, he starts elevating his voice, not all the way, but a bit more. But when Crystal comes, he goes back to that soothing. Because imagine Crystal, like imagine you're Crystal, and let's just say yesterday or earlier today, you have your chill boyfriend, and then you come to see him playing with kids in this very what would we call it, very elevated voice. You're like, oh my goodness, what's going on? And he's like, oh hey Crystal, hey, what was his name? Hector, right? Sorry, I forgot. Hey Hector, hey babe, hey. And are you babysitting? He's like, oh, I'm just catching up with some old friends. Oh, do you want to come and like express our feelings, and like we'll have me play the guitar? I love when you play the guitar. And that's literally how they're talking. And then they like, oh, okay, let me just say goodbye to him. He's like, okay. Oh my goodness. I might have been going like a little dramatic, but for the most part, that's how they were kind of talking, and their heads kind of touching together. And it's like, "Oh, heck, Cricket, it was good catching up with you and your friend. I got to go." And then Hector's like, "Wait," and Hector's not like a bad guy, but that was kind of messed up. They kind of left like that, but he has to go spend time with his friends and his girlfriend, and he didn't explicitly said that he wanted to hang out with Cricket and Remy like all day. It was just to kind of catch up. So like and then Hector's like, oh, like, I'm kind of, even though your friend is nice, Cricket, him with all those rest of those teenagers kind of was getting a little too much for me. I'm kind of glad he's gone. And he's like, well, how could you say that? I'm sorry, Cricket, I'm just being honest. He's like, oh, I don't blame all those teenagers. Yeah, those teenagers were kind of ruining everything. They even took Hector away. It's like, and Remy's like, what do you mean? Well, just think about it for a minute, Remy. Hector was doing a dang up job. Like he was playing with us, and he was having fun just like old times. And then Remy's like, yeah, and he's like, but when his girlfriend Lily and Crystal came along and his teenage friends, he stopped and he left. And then Remy's like, because he's a teenager. And Cricket's kind of getting upset by the term. He's like, you take that back, and he's kind of calming himself down. It's like, oh, okay. But it's like, no, obviously those teens had some mind control on him. And then Remy's like, but he wants to be supportive of his friends. Like, okay, so Cricket's like, we gotta go save Hector. And he's like, okay, Cricket, okay, we'll go save him. It's a hooray. And so they're gonna go save Hector. Okay, we get back to the B plot with Tilly finding a third and what you call it, a third vehicle, and it's a hot dog. I don't think it's a food truck. It's a food. It's basically like a car that's shaped like a hot dog, basically. And then she's speaking German, and everyone says, oh, Tilly's freeing the people, and she's a hot dog for the people. Or maybe wait, actually, maybe it was Italian again. Maybe. Now, and sure, the comments below, if you know what language Tilly was speaking when she was in the hot dog vehicle, that'd be pretty cool. Because it might have been Italian, but I think it might have been a Wienerwurst, and I think that's a German food, right? Am I wrong? Who knows? And then we get a Cujo reference, and be wary when you type in Cujo because it's a very scary movie. And then we have Cujo, and Tilly's like, oh, hi, little friend, because Tilly loves animals. Oh, do you want a hot dog? And he just starts snarling at her, and she starts going in reverse. And then Cujo chasing after her. And she's like, oh, stay back, stay back, stay back. Cujo's mouth just, I'm not sure he's called Cujo, but there's like but that's, I think that's what the creators reference that dog after. The one that's chasing after Tilly is a reference to Cujo. I might need to double check on that, but I'm pretty sure I'm correct. But so he opens his mouth and just chomps on the hot dog until he jumps out of the car. It's like, oh, man, all three cars are a bust. The high-speed car, the hearse, and the hot dog mobile. And we get back to the A plot where Cricket, Remy is like waiting to do this to get this magnet to attract Cricket and Hector to go up so they can take them to Junk Mountain away from the teenagers and away from the mind control. And but Cricket's kind of half believing what he's saying, what he's telling himself. Where he's like, "Is Hector under mind control, or is he just having a good time? Should I leave him alone?" But no, we gotta play. We gotta play. And it's like, oh, okay, Cricket, like, just tell me when you're ready. And we basically have Hector and Crystal just kind of hanging together. And did Crystal kiss Hector on the cheek? She might have. I'm not sure. But so and then. Like I'm glad these teenagers aren't jerks or anything. That was really nice because Cricket accidentally bumps into two of them. One was a boy, and one was a girl. And just, oh, you lost little man, and like, hey, dude, you okay? And then Cricket gets his hair, puts over his eyeball. He's like, you don't understand. And the boy's like, and we'll never will, right? And then like the girl's like, rock on, little dude with the hairdo. Sorry about that. Anyway, if you can hear the hallway. um, and like, you don't understand. And they're all like dancing to it, and Cricket's like, haha, I tricked them. And we basically have Cricket jump on Hector. Hector the heathen! That gave me heart. That gave my heart like a little jump start. Sorry, that was just loud. I'm not sure if you could hear that or not. Maybe I'm looking crazy to you, but you're just people in the hallway, neighbors. Anyway, um, anyway, um. I'm losing my train of thought. Alright, so he's Hector the Heathen to Cricket, and he jumps in. Cricket, what are you doing? I gotta rescue you. And Remy's Remy now. And he's holding on to Hector, and his helmet is magnetic, so it's attaching to the magnet. And then Hector, Chris is like, babe. And then your Cricket's like, to Junk Mountain, Remy. And then you just drop off at Junk Mountain. And he's like, and I like how Hector's like, Cricket, what the heck? It's like, yeah, he kind of intruded on boyfriend girlfriend time. I mean, Cricket, you wouldn't like it if someone interrupted you and Gabriella's time. You literally got upset when Bill did it. But again, we understand the context of Cricket trying to his best to get his old friend back and not lose his friend of mind control, while Bill in the episode Date Night was going out of his mind for like no reason. And there was plenty of hits for Bill for saying kind of back off and like, this is not a date. I just want to hang out with my girlfriend. I just to do kind of friend/girlfriend stuff, not full girlfriend stuff. And Bill just wasn't getting it at all until like the very end. So two like very different. Where Date Night I don't think I'll ever watch again except for the Gabriella parts because she's the sweetest pie. Like she's just perfect in the episode. She didn't do anything wrong. And with this like. It's very different. So Hector's like, Cricket, what the heck? And I like how Cricket kind of apologizes. It's like, Hector, I'm sorry I kind of took you away from your girlfriend. I'm really sorry. But I just really want to play with you. We want to play with you. And Remy's like, yeah, Hector, come on, let's play. And then, like, I got your shield and everything. And it says Hector on it. And he's like, oh, you're still the same crazy old Cricket. Like, yeah, you know what? Sure, let's play. And it's so cool. And Hector's a teenager. He wants to be with his girlfriend. He keeps on looking over there. And then Cricket's like, oh, Cricket the Crusher hit Hector the Heathen. How shall the Heathen respond? And then when Cricket hit him in the head, he was kind of looking this way. And he's kind of out. He's like, oh, wait, I forgot. I'm still playing with him. Because his mind's drifting. And I feel for Hector because I drift off from time to time. So I kind of feel for him. And then, like, he's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to get you, Cricket the Crusher. He keeps on looking over there. And he keeps on looking back, but Cricket kind of sees Hector's not really into it. And then Remy's kind of over in the sound lights, kind of seeing what's going on. So he kind of attempts a couple spells with his crystal thing. But, like, he's kind of doing that kind of no effect because Cricket's kind of blocking it. And, like, and your Cricket's kind of like, hey, your friends and your girlfriend Crystal, like, they're looking for you. And Hector's like, oh, are you sure? Because he still wants to be their first friend, his kid friend. He's like, yeah, I'm sure. I'm getting kind of tired anyway. And then he gives a shield to Cricket. He's like, hey, Cricket, it was good catching up with you. He's like, yeah, same, Hector. And he's like, hey, guys, wait up. And, like, Hector goes off. And they kind of, like, we get back to the B plot. And the sun's setting, actually, by the way. And we get to Tilly talking to Bill. It's like, oh, Tilly, what have you been doing, sweetie? And oh wait, did you get your car? It's like, oh, I was on the hunt for automobiles, but since the police chase and the living corpse and the demon dog, and it Bill's like, the what? it was all imaginary, Bill. You don't have to worry about it. Oh, I was like talking to Bill that it wasn't Tilly. Tilly wouldn't ever call her father Bill. That wouldn't make any sense. Anyway, she's like, oh, besides all that, I actually found a car for my own free carefree spirit, and it's a tire. Is it how I can roll like wait, hold on. What did she say? Oh, now I can just roll wherever I go. And she's in the tire. She's like, wee, and then Bill's like, that's my daughter, and that does match Tilly really well. But hopefully, when Tilly gets older, I'm not sure we're ever gonna get a time skip, but hopefully Tilly can get a car of her own. Because that actually makes it, when she said early in the episode, I think that she actually makes a pretty good point of maybe the clutch isn't gonna be around when Tilly's old enough to drive. Maybe Tilly's gonna get her own car. Maybe it might be a motorcycle like Nancy. Might be. I don't know. I wonder if Cricket would ever get a bike. A car. What would Remy's car be? What would Gabriella's car be? I think Kiki would have a motorcycle. And it comes low. The kids of Big City Greens, what cars would they have when they're like old enough to drive? Well, or would they just have a motorcycle? Um. Hmm. So we finished up that B plot with Tilly getting a tire, and we have oh, I forgot I can't believe I forgot about this. Before Hector arrived, even Remy kind of mistook her for Hector because Remy didn't want to assume. Where he's like, oh hey Hector, I'm Remy, and then Cricket's like, oh, this is just Hector's little sister, what was her name, Lupita. I can't believe I forgot to mention her. I'm so sorry. But we're getting close to the end of the episode where she's gonna come back, basically, and she's like, "Oh, Cricket, we haven't seen each other in a long time, and not a baby anymore, right?" And Cricket tried to brush it off, but she's gonna come back, not right now, but like in a few minutes. And we basically have Remy saying, "Hey, Cricket, I'm sorry Hector bailed on us," and he's like, "Oh, it's okay," but I kind of told him to leave, and and then Remy's kind of like talking to Cricket like, "Hey, good advice," kind of like just like in episode 10, where Remy's like, "Hey, Hector, he grew out of all this kid stuff. He's a teenager now, but it's kind of like how everyone discarded these parts, right? They're all in the junk because people move on and they grow from things, right? It happens sometimes." And Cricket's like, "Yeah," and then Remy's like, "It won't happen to us." Sorry. It won't happen to us, though. We're stronger than that. We'll always be best friends. And then, Cricket's like, yeah, and you know what? I'm never growing up. Obviously, he's going to grow up. But that's going to happen. It's the inevitability. But we actually have some more lore on Remy. It's a little bit of lore, but apparently his pediatrician told him that he's going to be a late bloomer. So he's not going to grow really tall, soon. He's gonna do it later. So if we do see Cricket and Tilly grow, we obviously know this is gonna be like a season 4 and possible season 5. So over time, if we see Cricket and Tilly grow taller, maybe Remy will go taller like a little bit. But his doctor said that he'll be a late bloomer. So we'll see. And I know Lupita comes back. It's like, oh, like, hey guys, like, can I play with you, please? And then Rem's like freeze time, and like, can I please play with you? And she's doing it while she's frozen. Like, can I please play with you? And then Cricket and Remy kind of looking at each other, like, yeah, Lupita. And I like this how the symbol, what you call it, the symbolism of Cricket handing the shield to Lupita that used to be Hector and says Hector on it, and then Lupita's kind of looking at it. It's kind of like, I'm filling my older brother's shoes, and I get to play with his old friend Cricket, and now this new friend Remy, and that's pretty cool. And like I forgot her code name, like Lupita the Warrior or something. I forgot. And they're kind of fighting against each other. And then we see Tilly in like the foreground because they're on top of Junk Mountain, and we have Lupita, not Lupita, Tilly in the tire, like wee, and she's going this way, like underneath Junk Mountain. And that's the end of the episode. And I just want to say 10 out of 10. Perfect. I didn't have any complaints with it. There was a couple things where I was kind of saying maybe it wasn't kind of necessary, but wasn't for anything for me like to get upset over or anything. So 10 out of 10. So we had the first half countryside, which is like not 90. Does it 90? Oh, no, sorry. 95. I remember. Countryside is a 95. This is 100. So 97.5. 97%. So A plus. Since like the first half was 95%, not a full 100. Obviously, this whole entire episode wasn't perfect. The episode 11, but 97%. I thought this was a fantastic episode. And hopefully these the rest of the episodes for season 3 be. I don't want to say live up to like the standard for just being fantastic, but I don't want just okay episodes. That was kind of happening with like the season 3A episodes. It was kind of some episode where just okay. We kind of got out of that funk. They kind of stink. I don't want to say stink because that's kind of mean, but I just want to get out of the okay territory. Big City Greens is capable of being fantastic, and this episode is proof, at least in my opinion. So in the comments below, what did you think of this episode? And let's see. Yeah, I guess that's everything. So and I don't think there's really been any updates on my subscribers. I think it kind of fluctuated a little bit, but at least to my knowledge right now, it's still 136. So, and we're still in February, so before March, hopefully we get to 140. It's still my goal, my mini goal right now. So, yeah. So, yeah, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell. Give me a big thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to share the video. Don't forget to check out my mini reviews and my community posts. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for Big City Greens Season 3, Episode 12. And let's see. What was it called? Did I forget? Hold on a second. I forgot. I'm sorry, but episode 12 when it comes out, it'll come out tomorrow. When I do my review. So when I actually do my review, I'll know the title. So yeah. So that'll be coming out tomorrow, Saturday. So and I'll see you guys then. Okay. Bye.